For anyone that was a fan of the original Austin, Texas Real Estate Lab, thank you so much for watching over the years. We've decided to bring it back with a new take, an open microphone, value-driven podcast. Now, we encourage anyone with insights on Austin, real estate agents, business owners, builders, or homeowners to come on and share their opinions and their information that provide value to the people in greater Austin, Texas. If you run a large Facebook group in Austin, get in here. If you want to give opinions on what you think would improve this city, get in here. If you discovered a new neighborhood, have insights on development, or work for a company that's hiring like crazy, hop in here and let us know. Real quick, there's some ground rules if you decide to join this live discussion. Be kind. It doesn't mean you suppress the truth. It means you understand tact. Add value to others. No one wants to hear anyone rant about how great they are. What can someone learn from what you're about to say? And cameras on. Yes, this is a podcast, but it's video first. If you don't want to be on camera, we cordially invite you to participate in the comments section. With that, welcome to the Real Estate Lab podcast, Open Mic Edition. I'm Ian of Austin, and I'm happy you could join us. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, good afternoon.
What's up, everybody? Yeah. Hey, so we're this is the Real Estate Lab. Today we're talking about new construction, and we're just going to jump right into it. There's a lot happening in the Austin, Texas area, especially in the new construction realm. There were a lot of conversations and concerns about new construction a year ago, maybe even a year before that, but now it's kind of getting back to what we would consider normal here in Austin. So Rachel, JJ, thanks for showing up. What do you think's going on in your world right now when it relates to new construction? Give me anything.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I primarily work with families, so single family, kind of out in the suburbs a little bit. So my favorite neighborhood right now is Easton Park, and I like the master plan communities. So there's a lot happening.
Can we pause there for a sec? Not everybody knows what a master plan community is. So can you describe that for people?
Yes. So a couple characteristics of a master plan community would be like a central amenity center. And those, so particularly in this one and some of the newer ones that are coming out, I mean, we're talking like amenities, like big swimming pools, something that you would expect to see like at a hotel resort. Another popular one nearby has a great lazy river, clubhouses, and a lot of the time there's multiple of these, all of these things. And it's just acres and acres and acres of development. Another characteristic of master plan communities is it's not just one builder. So you're going to see different types of homes. So you'll see condos and townhomes along with single family. One of the characteristics in Easton Park that's pretty unique, I don't know of anyone else in Austin doing it, but they have these tracks that are called quads. So you share a driveway with 3 other families. They're not zero lot line, they're still a small yard, but the house design is around more of a courtyard. So it's a great outdoor living space if you want like outdoor entertaining, but not necessarily like a big yard to run around in. So another characteristic is, and something that we're seeing happen a lot here in Austin, different developers are using the term condo, even though it is a single family home, because it's allowing them to do these private roads so that they don't have to wait on the city to do all of the permitting for each individual home. So they're able to get one permit. And then, and if you're driving through different places, you'll notice the signs are a different color because they're not City of Austin street signs. So they're private roads.
Oh, interesting.
I
never
I
looked
love
at it like
that. I was going to say, I want to unpack that a little bit later, especially when we start talking about like timelines, for example. So JJ, tell me, what do you have going on in the world of new construction?
What I observe with new construction, general broad stroke, obviously last year was an interest rate hike of sorts, very dramatic. So I can appreciate, and not all builders do this, but I've seen some builders adjust dramatically where I've seen like 20% price drops. And this was like December. We're already like approaching March, guys. Like this is the end of February. But that first, even the past few months, I've seen dramatic price reductions and also huge incentives where you get to buy down rates. That's also been super big. A lot of bonuses, incentives, even realtor bonuses, which are really cool too.
Yeah, I think we're going to pull up some of those. We're going to pull up some of the incentives in a little bit too. I think that's a lot of fun. I like what you were saying. I almost called you April. Who the heck is April?
I don't know.
Who the heck is April? I like what you were saying, Rachel, about, I was thinking April O'Neil. That's a throwback.
Me too. Weird.
Yeah, were you?
April O'Neil was in the city and downtown Rachel Brown.
Downtown Rachel Brown. We got another one. Another April. Hi, April.
Randy.
How's it going? Okay. So let's go through some of these. So the reason why we read out the comments on this channel is because it's also streamed on Spotify, Google, all of the podcasting apps as well. So Rambo says, let's go. What do we have today? So we're talking new construction. We talked about that. Mark, thank you for always showing up for the Real Estate Lab. We all appreciate it. Whoa. Do y'all know what FTW is?
For the win.
Okay, I have to check.
Not the other one.
I'm wearing a real estate nerd t-shirt. I just got to check. I just got to check that we all agree. What's happening, peeps? It's been a little bit. It has. We were back 2 weeks ago. So we're doing these every 2 weeks now. And it just gives us a little more time to prep. And it's just a lot. We have a lot going on. The world is changing a little bit. I think this is for Dinosaur D. Mark says, yo, what up? And then after this, after I'm done reading these, you guys have to read all the future comments, okay? Have you heard? Have to have a yard for Ian to run around in or Ian gets cranky. That is true. I run my dogs very frequently because I can't sit still. Even now, you'll see I'm always like this. I'm always like bouncing around. Okay. Work's been crazy. Lunch break. Oh my gosh, this is a lot. Dinosaur D, the legend, is here. Okay, done. All right, Randy, we're talking about new construction. Tell us a little bit about like what's going on in your world of like what are you seeing or hearing about in the new construction world?
New construction, I've heard that they had a surprising amount of closings in January. This is some nationwide stats of homes that have yet to be built. But then additionally, coming online, there are active listings, a pretty large amount of active listings that are under construction or already completed. And so that's possibly like a storm brewing a little bit for builders in that they might have a wave of inventory coming to have a seat on the market. That's something that I was researching yesterday, actually.
To have a seat on the market.
You know, nothing's moving fast. So,
yeah. See, it's so interesting because we're in a time right now where the interest rates are going like this. Like nobody actually knows what to expect. We have expectations based on what the Fed says, and then they change it, right? Yeah. And so, like I had a buyer walk earlier today, and these buyers purchased, I don't know, let's say late last year, and they're supposed to close in August. Well, supposed to close. In that time frame, they have no idea what their actual monthly payment's going to be. So if you're purchasing a new construction home, because of that timeline, you don't lock in your loan for purchasing the property, your actual loan until about 2 months before closing of the house, right? So in June, they're going to be finding out what their payment's going to be. And that's where you have that situation where so many people decide, oh, I can't do this, or yay, I didn't expect this.
I did have a couple of builders last year. Amazingly, Lennar is going to be one of them. But Lennar and KB Homes lenders were offering the 12-month rate locks. So the clients took advantage of that. And the closing that I just raced here from was KB Homes, and they had their rate locked in since last year. They also had 51 closings to handle today, which was why I was running late, because they were running late at the title office, KB Homes alone. So,
well, let's talk about that. It's the end of the month. It's the last day of the month.
yeah.
So if you are working with a realtor and it's not one of us, shame on you. But no, if you're working with a realtor and they are trying to close your home on the end of the month,
well, you don't get to say so on the new construction. Don't throw me under the bus, Ian. You know the builder.
Sorry. No. I'm sorry. It's hard to change it, and they don't like to change it. But there are ways that you can make it happen. You know, like if your dog died. I don't want to be somber on this, but there are ways to make this happen, right? But stay positive. What else?
I never thought about that one.
Are you writing it down? Dog ate your homework?
Yeah, I've always had a dog. I haven't used that one yet. I was just thinking about the rate locks. Even if it's not the builder, I remember guaranteed rate. Like I had a lender guaranteed rate, my preferred lender guaranteed rate. She had like a rate lock, like it might have been 6 months. There's things you could work around, but then it would be the non-preferred lender of the builder. So, which could also change your incentive plan.
Can we talk about that for people that may or may not know? Someone talk about the builder lender versus your non-preferred lender.
Well, with the amount of incentives that come with the builder's lender for the past 6 months, the third-party lenders haven't really had a chance. We'll have to see if builders continue to needing to provide all those incentives. But if you work with a builder's lender, you're going to be offered at this time a lot of incentives like cash towards closing costs, cash towards buying down the interest rate. And because the builder wants to really push through and make sure that they have somebody sign on for this house and go under contract, compared to your third-party lender who has no reason to provide incentives in that way.
Right. Rambo's right. Rambo.
I always advise my buyers to go ahead and run it by my preferred lender. I've never had one come back. Well, when incentives are being offered, there was definitely that little lull where they weren't offering anything at all. But it's always worth a check, but I haven't ever seen it actually compete.
So Rambo,
go ahead.
I was just going to read the comments. Rambo says incentives drove down that number in January. I think we were talking about the interest rates. And then Rambo also says preferred lender and refi. Is that financial advice?
Yeah, that's a good
We're
idea.
not giving financial advice on it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That works for some people. It works pretty well for some people. What were you going to say, Randy?
I thought that was a good idea. The preferred lender and refi is an interesting idea for sure.
All right, so let's talk about this comment that Mark put up. He says he's seen some new construction lots with views still at 200,000. Is that expected with the market the way it is? Houses in the neighborhood are 1 million plus. Santa Rita Ranch North.
Wait, what's the 200K?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's almost so confusing. I would have to say no, it's not true, but I don't see where that could possibly be happening.
So I'm gonna jump in and say they can do it if they have an exclusive view that you can't find elsewhere in the community. And Santa Rita Ranch specifically is one of those communities where there's only a little bit of opportunity for a view because it's not very hilly around there. It's like right at the edge or right at the cusp of where hill country could be considered. And so there's a huge drop off, but there's only a handful of houses that can fit there. And all those houses are acre lots. Mm-hmm. So you don't have as many houses. The community will have 20,000 houses, but right there, you're only going to have 100 that'll have a view. So they can charge whatever premium they want because the people that want that will pay it.
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, so we're confirming it's a $200,000 premium that he was mentioning for a view.
That makes more sense if that was
$200,000 premium.
Oh, yes. I believe that's how he's saying it.
Oh, the lot. Okay. I read that sentence
lot
wrong
premium.
too.
So you're paying $200,000 for the lot and then another $1 million for the house. I think that's a deal.
I think it depends on how long it's on the market. It's one of those times that everyone's a little bit more calm, so you could test what's hyperactive or not. If the view's hyperactive, sometimes people used to emotionally, I think they would emotionally fight over, rarity, but some people aren't really into it. But, depends.
Did you hear about, I don't like to do tangents, but I think I often do tangents. No, do y'all know Bernard Renault? Just recently announced richest man in the world over everybody. Yeah.
No, I've heard of the man. I haven't spoken to him. I
watched a way too long YouTube video this morning, like 5:30 or 6 this morning about how he describes luxury.
Yeah, because he's a premium. He's the king of premium. It's like a freaking
it's premium, and then there's this guy.
So I guess the views in the eye of the beholder, it's like art.
Right. People that'll pay $10 million for they might not be moving to Georgetown in Santa Rita Ranch.
Yeah, so Santa Rita Ranch, maybe for Westlake.
Well, there are people in Georgetown with some serious money. I don't think it's about the.
I would just say 100,000. If I was just to guess. If 200,
I think it's more that they want exclusivity.
I'd say maybe 100.
Anyway, all that to say, I could see it, and y'all disagree with me.
Well, I know a lot of the time on the lots when you're starting to get out towards the hill country, a lot of the premium involved is going to be in the land cut. So it's not even just the raw land, but those land cuts I've seen go over 100,000.
Well, because you're digging through stone. We're right. So specifically that area is right along where the quarry is, right? It's all stone. So that's going to be way more expensive than if you're looking for that same amount of land in Manor.
Yeah. Yeah, even with the view, if you're getting built into the side of a hill and having a retaining wall as your back fence, it's going to be real pricey.
Yeah. All right. So he says, yeah, but not all of them. Looks like the neighborhood is 40K lot premium, but there are a couple greater than 100K. Yeah, I can see that. Randy, you look like you have something important to say.
No, I'm just listening to what you were saying, and it all made a lot more sense to me about 3 minutes ago whenever we corrected that it was the lot that was costing 200,000. But I just don't sell up in that area very much, honestly, so I don't have much to say on this particular part.
All right, let's talk about let's jump into, let's see, it's been 20 minutes. Let's jump into the areas. Before we jump into areas, I think this is a question that a lot of people have, and I want to kind of put it out on the table. How do you know a builder is good? I know that's deep. It's deep, but I want to give it to him.
Like the quality of the home itself or the quality of the experience? Because
that's
both
a
of them,
good
I think,
question to the question and kind of the point.
Yeah.
Right? Because people say, well, is this a good builder? And I'm like, what the heck does good mean to you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you want to live there? How long do you need it to last? What do you know about property maintenance?
Yeah. Look, Dinosaur D says they can reuse the stone for the facade. Is that a good builder to you? I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I think a custom builder do that.
Yeah, that sounds cool. For breaking down the builders, I usually take it in. I explain the tiers because there's like price ranges. That always puts it in different compartments. And then within that price point, a little bit about reputation and maybe things that I've experienced when I work with them. And I also put a little bit more weight towards the production builder because there's more of a corporate history for the most part versus like a mom and pop builder, which is questionable, and it's hard to really pinpoint all the reviews and how many clients they've had or, Better Business Bureau rating over X amount of builds. So that's kind of how we break it down. And then even just like a sales agent, like little context, the on-site agent or something like that.
Do you look at reviews online for builders before you recommend them to your clients?
With a grain of salt.
I mean, they're all bad.
Ooh, why do you say that? That's good. That's good. I wanted to hear that. Why do you say that?
No, not all builders are bad. All the reviews about the builders are bad. So they should go there. I still tell them to look up reviews for builders so that they understand the situation that's coming to them if they choose to build a home. There's annoyances and nuisances and common situations that come up with a builder. But But then I agree with what JJ was saying about making sure to break them up as far as, which bracket is this client going to be going into for builders? And then I help kind of navigate and guide them based off my experience of how my transaction has gone with them previously, because you do want to feel like you're in control of your building process, and that can quickly run away from you when a builder is not communicating, when they're not responding to your inspection reports, when they're ignoring items that you're bringing to them. So having really solid communication and an effective build is really key there. And then trying to encourage them to research past communities that the builder has done and to go drive through them to see how they look today, as far as having some time passed over. So
that is gold.
Yeah.
I'm going to play that back for the people that missed it. If you want to know how a builder's product can withstand the test of time, then all you have to do is go find neighborhoods that were built 10 or 20 years ago by that same builder. Now, that doesn't mean that that's going to be the case moving forward. Technology changes, the actual on-site project managers and builders change over time. But as a general rule of thumb, it gives you an indication on their target audience, is how I'll say it. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Have you all had any builder horror stories lately?
I have one from last year. It was right about a year ago, so that's not super lately, but it was the unimaginable. So I had some clients under contract that contracted during kind of the height of COVID, and so their home, it was KB, and it was outside of Austin, but their home was almost done. Took 15 months. Was finally almost done, and the house was vandalized. So people broke in, smashed the appliances, smashed the front door, like a glass front door.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that was like the day before our first closing date, which was already like so well beyond. I mean, it's KB. Like they're usually done in like 7 months. So at 15 months, we had already sold their existing home.
Oh my goodness.
So the builder's like, okay, give us a couple days. We'll get it together. We'll get it fixed. So then they call a few days later. Actually, the builder didn't even call me. They called my client is the one that had to call and tell me. They believe the same people came back in the house, lit a fire upstairs.
Oh my God.
Like on the carpet. So lots of smoke damage, like every single room was smoke damage. So you could see, it was really bizarre. So you could see all of the beams. They were kind of like showing through the drywall. More smashed appliances. They like, the little thing that pulls down on the faucet in the kitchen. They like cut it just to make a mess, Oh, and they had tried to flood the house. So they like blocked off the tub in the primary bathroom and like left like Home Alone style, like left all the water running. Thankfully, I didn't even know this. Like homes are now built with like there's like a safety thing in there, so it'll keep draining. So at that point they were like, okay, we'll fix it all. My clients were they were like, I don't know, like we feel pretty uneasy. Well, thankfully the decision became easy to make because they came back and nearly burned it down. So at this point, it was beyond the studs. A firefighter was hurt while trying to put it out. Like everyone was super thankful that it didn't spread to any other homes because it was fully ablaze by the time the fire department got there. So it was basically just down to the studs. And the builder was still trying to get my clients to close on it. They were like, it'll be fine. We'll fix it.
What?
So yeah, it was very traumatic, very, very traumatic. And it was like the builder didn't ever do anything to try to mitigate these future losses. There were no cameras installed. There was like nothing. So it was a really disappointing, super emotional time for the sellers. So
did you say that they came back 3 times? There's 3 visits from the vandals?
Yes.
So that sounds like they live in the neighborhood and they were unhappy with their build and they're like,
and is it just your client's house or did the whole street get it?
No, my client's house was the only one that had fire. The original vandalism happened at that one, and then another one that was a few doors down, similar stage of construction. They did catch them, not the builder, the police. And it was 2 like 17-year-old ROTC, junior ROTC students who I thought were supposed to be mature and responsible.
Those little punks.
But yeah,
Wow.
it was so devastating. Like they had lived in their other home for like 15 years. They had been saving all this money. They had 3 kids. Like this was kind of like going to be their dream home that was going to give them all this room. It was so emotional. It was really, and I really did not appreciate how the sales guys handled it. That it was just like, well, we're, you know, like whatever, like what's the big deal? Like they were just trying to save face, which was not the time to do that.
Jeez.
I mean, I don't know if you can beat that story. That's
I know. I was like, oh, I've got
horror
one.
story.
And then I was like,
The
I don't
end.
know.
You can have that one.
So-
You win. You win.
I wish
That's
I did not
terrible.
win that one.
Well, and then
That is
is there a
terrible.
happy ending? Did your clients go to a different builder or resale home? Like how did
Yeah,
their
we
story
went-
end?
Yes, we went with a resale home in a different area because they were like, we're obviously not moving into this neighborhood, even
Yeah.
in a different home. So yes, and that transaction ended up quick and painless, thankfully. I mean, they were already displaced for a couple of months at that point, but yeah, they're doing well.
Oh my gosh, that's traumatizing.
It was
That's a
a rough
lot.
start to the year last year.
Do you foresee issues like that? Well, no, that's vandalism. That has nothing to do with anything. Like we can't, like that's not due to supply
here's
chain
my
or
take.
anything.
My take is I see different builders with the cameras out. Like you ever notice?
Yes.
those
Exactly.
things?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. In some of the neighborhoods, so now if you're driving around a new construction neighborhood, some of the neighborhoods, I can't say why or when, but you can see, look, some of the neighborhoods will have cameras going around the entire time because of property theft. People will take windows. They're like, I need windows anyway.
All the appliances, like I know they kind of just build that into the budget, assuming that appliances are going to get taken. I always assume that that's like an inside job. Like somebody tells their cousin, like, okay, we put the range in today, like go pick it up.
It's
But-
in the neighborhood while the houses don't have locks. Like they don't even have doors for half of this stuff. So yeah, I could see that. That's very, very obvious.
So I do think that they could do more security wise, like beyond cameras even, but
It's disappointing to hear that it's KB Homes that fumbled that so poorly because I actually usually support them for that bracket of buyers as being attentive. They're really on about their surveys. They want to make sure that they get good surveys turned in, and so I have good communication with the salesperson and the builder rep. My experiences usually go well with KB Homes, so that's disappointing to hear about that because that is a major faux pas.
Yeah,
Can't believe they're
I
trying to make
haven't-
you close on that same house.
yeah, I haven't tried to look up and see what, like if those guys are still there. Cause it was like the sales guy and then the, construction manager. And they were both just like, and then pressure about the house. Like, well, we're still like, this house is going to sell for 100,000 more once we fix it because it's a year later. And it's just like,
No, that house is
So there's
ruined.
so much in that story. Like one of them is because it was a year ago or a little over a year ago, the times were very different. And I don't think people have seen that lately. Like they don't always understand that it's different now than it was a year ago. So there were a lot of people at the builders. So like sales reps and stuff, they couldn't care. They couldn't even sell houses. Right? Because everybody it was already accounted for. They were moving so fast they couldn't keep up with it, so they didn't have to care.
right.
And it's really interesting because those are the types of people that you want to pay close attention to. You're like, all right, now I'm going to keep that eye out because that's who I'm dealing with in the future. That's your true colors,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, how they treat their customers is paramount
Well, and how they treat their customers in crisis, not when
in a
everything's going well.
crisis. Yeah.
need to make it right.
JJ or Randy, do you have anything that's going to top that? It doesn't have to
No.
top it, just good stories
No.
for people to
I'm
think
like,
about.
I'm so sorry that like you experienced that. Your clients experienced that. No way I have anything to top that. No.
I was just gonna say something simple like with the price adjustment, some builders aren't price adjusting.
I did
But some builders
have
are.
Lennar do such a poor job that I advised my client to not close on closing day. but that's no surprise.
Yeah, that's no surprise. So,
Did
but
they?
that's a good point. So, JJ, you had talked about reviews. Okay,
Mhm.
specifically with reviews, you got to pay attention. Every neighborhood could have a different project manager or compliance person or builder in that area. Just because it says a brand name doesn't mean there aren't 10 people working. So the walkthrough I went through today, there are only 300 homes in that area total, and there were 5 builders working on them, like 5 separate builders that each have 10 homes. Right? And so now you have to extrapolate that and think about, well, that's just right here in this tiny little section of a city. And then that's every city and neighborhood. And then it's like across the state. And then it's across the United States and maybe further. So when you're looking at, I'm going to use Lennar as an example because they're a national home builder. So you see these reviews in North Carolina about how bad their service is or how bad they built a house in North Carolina. First off, the building requirements are very different. But from the top down is the way they treat a client different. Anyway, let's move on to the next conversation.
I do have something that I do like about how Lennar treats their clients, and I like how they do their final walkthroughs with the like paint people there. So
The touch-up people.
yeah, I think that's smart.
Yeah, and it's like immediate gratification.
I think that should
And
be
the
a bare
client sees it
minimum.
happening. I just haven't ever seen anyone else do it though. Have you?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe to harp on Ian's point too, my experience with Lennar did not have the paint guy with us. So it heavily depends on what Ian was just saying about the particular community and the reps that are participating in that. So it sounds like you had a Lennar team that was doing a better job, which is, we should have more of those in Lennar throughout.
Maybe the construction manager himself.
Some of the construction managers are incredible across these different builders. So Dinosaur D had to go. Just letting you know. It's been a pleasure to see y'all. And then Mark says, see ya. And then I just got to throw this out here. Mark, thank you so much for supporting us. We're having fun doing this. And yes, we will all go out to lunch on you. Thank you for that.
Mark, hey, appreciate it.
That's a really good story. Welcome back, Lab. I love it. So let's talk about areas. Like, what do you see that's coming up that you think that people should know about? Any areas that you've seen and you thought they were kind of exciting, or you just want to talk about like, don't buy here?
So new construction communities.
Yeah, let's focus on new construction communities, and they can be inside or out of Austin. I'm going to bring one up if you do or don't have one. If we have a pause.
Go ahead. Yeah, I need to think about one.
All right, I'm going to bring this up. Listen, I don't want anybody getting mad at me for just showing what's out there in the public on the internet, right? Let me share this. Make sure it's the right one. I don't be.
Is it a resale?
No, it's a new construction.
I think we're better then.
You think so? All right, so check this out. Okay. This house.
Ron.
Cute. It's in Kyle. Sure. Mm-hmm. What do you notice about this? Just looking at the pictures right away. Let's look at the floor plan.
Like cottage bungalow feel.
I wonder if there's a garage.
No garage. You don't get that. Oh, no. It does say a garage. It says, it must be in the back, separated. In the back, where I was going with it was this.
I mean, I would have guessed it would be that type of square footage.
That's square footage for $350,000. Almost.
That's gonna sit, don't you think?
This one says 309. These are two other ones. So this one says 309. Last updated January, so a month ago. And
it's in Kyle?
It's in Kyle.
More people being clueless on how to price right now, including builders. It's not gonna. I don't know. Do you think it'll go?
I mean, so there are a couple things about Kyle that I feel like people need to be super careful with. One of them is the tax rate.
Yeah, tax rate, for sure.
A lot of places in Kyle, the tax rate is substantially higher than more most people want to pay, especially at a house that is often smaller for more money. Rambo says 55 plus. Are you asking or are you telling?
Maybe that's his assumption.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think that's a 55 plus community, but here we go. 23 miles south of Austin. Braun. Have any of you worked with Braun before?
What's that?
I was
Have any
close.
of you worked with Braun before?
This was the same client. We almost did Braun, but they didn't have any good lots left, so we signed with Lennar, who we never closed with. So we should have gone with Braun.
Oof.
I'm cool with Braun. I think Braun is like, I could be completely wrong, San Antonio based, so they're kind of local and they're kind of low, kind of, maybe. I forget. I could be wrong.
Is that true?
But I don't know.
That they're San Antonio based? I actually didn't know that. I didn't know if they were. I thought they were Houston.
I lived in San Antonio a long time, and I am not familiar. But
but
well,
I'm okay with their rep. You know, I think they have fairly trendy design. They seem to get good neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's trendy design, and you can see like they're not putting stone on anything, right? You could blow this house over. I'm just kidding. I don't think you can blow this house over. I just,
value wise, in the description it said like close to rivers and stuff. I don't know if it's like a cool little nature space.
Yeah, is it like walkable to their cute little city center or something?
Here we go. Community and neighborhood. Let's pull it up. Let's take a look.
I love builder websites, by the way. They're very comprehensive and informative.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And they have like different maps if that builder's building in different areas.
To me, the price.
The things you don't see off of this is tax rate. They don't get builders do not like giving you the full tax rate. They'll give you like a portion of the tax rate without the mud or a PUD or any of that or PID. Like they'll tell you some of it, but not all of it. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if this is an inventory home, the price is great, right? But look at the range. It's the range that you want to pay attention to because with all options and everything, you're looking more toward this, right? Versus the 300 that they're advertising at front. But I'm glad that they give you a full range here. That's nice. But also, so we're looking at 2,200 square feet, 450. That's a little better, right? 4 bedrooms. Another thing the builder websites don't do is they don't do a good job necessarily, some do, some don't, of explaining how many homes are going to be developed in an area to support each amenity center. So if you have this amenity center that has 5 lawn chairs on it, and you have 1,000 people that live right around this house, right around this amenity center, we've had that problem. What is it? Rancho Siena. People love the neighborhood, and that's Georgetown on the border of Cedar Park, Leander, like that Tri-City area. Same story. They have one amenity center. They have tons of houses, and people have complained about how congested it gets in the summer for the amenities. And the builders, they don't care. They don't need to tell you that.
Man, I've been in so many like first looks with builders where they're like, oh yeah, we're going to have this park and that amenity and whatever. And it's like, well, when is that going to be? And they're like, well, we won't be pulling permits for 5 years. Or like, there's some like moratorium on that land for this amount of time. Like
they won't be pulling permits. That's good.
Like they've got some long-term plan. And so they're marketing based on that. And it's like, these clients might be in and out of here by the time that comes about.
Well, and you're looking at this, $300,000 seems like a good deal to people, right? They're like, I just want a house. Okay, $300,000. That's a good price point in and around Austin right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the corridor. I like the towns in between San Antonio and Austin. I feel like that's a strong corridor.
Yeah.
Two metropolitan cities.
To me, I was shopping in this price range of, it was like anywhere from like 1,000, 1,200 square feet in the Maxwell, Kyle area. And this was around midsummer of 2022. And the prices were just like this. It was hard to find anything under 300,000. So we were always flirting with 3 to 315. So to me, those prices seem high. I think that I don't think we're there anymore, and I think they should be coming under 300,000.
Well, for that square footage,
that size.
For that square footage, yeah.
Right. I just did one. We closed, I think last week, and it was comparatively, I feel like it was a better deal, better house, 2-story, larger square foot for about 25,000 less.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. So we shared that one. Y'all have something else?
I can bring up a couple.
Tell us. Pull it up.
You want to go urban or Pflugerville suburban?
Let's stay as close to the city as possible if we can.
All right. This is downtown Austin. I did new construction. There is a building called Vesper. And my computer's freezing.
I just did
Vesper,
a showroom tour with them. It was very cool.
You did a showroom tour?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just this past weekend. It was awesome. It's a little close to 35. That was a problem that we kept running into with all those neat buildings on Rainier. Is everybody's so close to 35? But
like you heard road noise from 35, that close?
Yeah, not inside the units. In Vesper you can't go inside their units yet. It's just a showroom. But if you have this great patio and you're trying to enjoy that view, or you're on their amazing pool and you're looking at the river, but 35 is super noisy. So, but I did not have that experience with Vesper since we were just in the showroom.
32nd floor, right next to Interstate 35. And this is about 697 square feet, listed for 675.
So the whole so it's just a new development altogether, the whole building.
New high-rise development. And like Randy said, they got the showroom, nice little rooftop pool, terrace, gym, club room, whiskey lockers.
Is this what you do? You do high rises?
Sometimes.
Do you do a lot of downtown sales in that way?
He's downtown JJ. Downtown JJ.
Downtown JJ Brown. Last time I did like stats, maybe like on a good year, 30% was like central related.
Neat.
Because I lived downtown for like 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
So here's their awesome website. Look at this bad boy. A little video.
Is that Joe Rogan? Who is that?
Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle and Elon Musk. No, I'm kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But Rainy Street's popping. I mean, I think that's the most condensed, like residential high-rise block downtown. Possibly.
It was.
There's a lot of apartments and high-rises there.
We toured 5 high-rises, and 3 of them were on the Rainy Street area. It's crazy. There's a lot going on there.
41 stories offer penthouse, 1 and 2 bedroom units available in 26 individual floor plans, all offered in 3 individual curated color schemes. Kind of like a light, medium, dark. It's like coffee.
Yeah, it's clean.
It's almost
what are the price points again?
At 697 square feet, listed at 675,000. That makes it $968 a square foot.
$1,000 a square foot. That's New York prices.
New York City, here we come.
How much is the HOA or like
condo
association fee?
$523 per month.
Does that include parking?
Hopefully.
You
don't
need to park if you live right by the Wonder Bar. Not the Wonder Bar. What is it? The Shuffle Bar.
What?
So Mark said builders also don't list if a road is considered private, even inside a master plan community, and private roads are maintained by the local neighborhood, not the HOA. Very, very, very good point.
That goes back to that condo situation that I was mentioning.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah. So an extra fee.
What do y'all think? Overpriced? Gonna sell? Look at that view.
Well, I don't know. My conversation would generally be around what's the lifestyle of the person that wants to have access to a place on Rainy Street, and is Rainy Street really the place they want to be as well? I mean, you can go right down and hop on the river, do some kayaking. Like, that's really nice. to have that level of access. But no yard. You can hang out on the rooftop all you want. If you have a puppy, what are you going to do? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel
Families,
like a lot of
forget about
value
it.
went to houses recently, but I know there's some urban rats out there. There's a lot of buildings. There's other high rises as well.
You could also go. We toured the Shore, which is Rainy Street as well, but it's not a high rise. It's just older, and it's getting dwarfed by the high rises, unfortunately. So all of its views are gone. But you get a way bigger condo for the same price, compared to the high rise tours, which was interesting. So you could have your location and have your lifestyle if you're okay with the giant high rises surrounding you, blocking your views.
Randy, can you share the demographic of the buyers that you were shopping with?
Yeah, he's going to be coming from California. Originally, we were looking at West Austin single family homes, but he's decided that just being a bachelor, he doesn't need that much square footage, and thought, well, maybe I can still, he wants views. So he said, maybe I can get that view in the downtown area. I can have the walkability. Really keen on trying to access the rail line, the existing one, but also the new ones coming, even though I've explained that project is going to take time. And he would be working in the North Austin domain area, maybe 1 to 2 times per week. And his budget is anywhere from 700 to a little over $1 million. And there's plenty of options to look at with that. And it just depended on, does he want to squeeze into 44 East with, 800 square feet and have a view of 35, or the Shore, which gave us, I think it was 1,400 square feet on the top floor, which wasn't, very tall. It's still a very short building. I think that was floor 9. But a way bigger unit, and a pool and lower HOA fees for sure. So it was interesting.
Oh, and the Shore's connected to Van Zant. That's kind of cool.
Yes.
Oh, that is cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you could have amenities. They like hooked the door up so you could go from the Shore condominium amenities through the door into the Van Zant pool. Like the pools are adjacent through a wall.
Well, he should have told us that on it. We had the listing agent touring the unit for us. That would have been good information to know.
Listing agent sucks.
Yeah.
Just
What'd
kidding.
you say?
Maybe not. Listing
Wait,
agent
what was
sucks.
that?
All right. Do you have any, Rachel? Do you have anything you want to share? I've got one. If not, let's see.
Yeah, go
See,
ahead.
you're okay. All right. Let's see. So I want to pull up. You'd think these would be faster. Pull it up faster, huh?
I have one as well if you're needing a time filler.
Okay. So I pulled up.
Cool.
Yeah. So this.
7752. Where's that?
Well, this is A and B units for this price point.
What area?
St.
East
John's.
Austin, it looks like, right?
It's St. John's. I actually have a listing coming up on St. John's if anybody's interested. It wouldn't be a teardown. It's actually super cute. But
Investment?
say it again.
Investment opportunity?
No, I mean, anything's an investment. No. This is a premium listing.
Okay.
It's really nice. They've redone everything. So you're looking at half price per square foot, lot size, and just give a couple pictures. You know what I'm noticing? All of the houses that we've been touring lately, not all, but a lot of them are very white.
Yeah.
They're colorful on the outside. And don't get me wrong, I understand, because you can put the color in through furniture and some of the other things.
It's been like white countertops on white cabinets for a long time, I feel like.
It has. Are you saying it needs to change? Are you saying you're expecting a change, or?
It's the observation of the trend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take
Trends
us
last
10 years. I don't know how
15
long it's
years? 15 years for a trend, a good house trend?
been. Yeah, 10 or so.
I toured a neat house in East Austin, Central East Austin, that was black walls, black counters, a wall of windows that opened up to a pool. But it was a very small Central East Austin lot and black fixtures. And I was like, wow, this is so different from what new builds are typically doing. And then the builder actually met us on site to tour the house for us. And he had sleeve tattoos and piercings. And
You're talking about John?
I don't. Maybe
modern
it was
Victorian?
it was last summer, so I can't quite remember. But he said, "Oh, I built this house for myself, but I'm changing investment routes." And I was like, "Well, that makes a lot more sense."
You want to show us 3 point?
But it was so cool. It was very different and unique, and the house was, you know, so thoughtfully done because he was making it for himself, and so it was very cool.
He was just on not just KVU News, but he was also on the Austin Homes Tour, Modern Homes Tour.
Oh, really?
He was also on Real Estate Lab.
He was on the Real Estate Lab last year.
Episode. Yeah. On new construction. Check that one out.
Oh, that's funny. Gosh, I forget stuff, man. That's cool. What else? You have one, Randy? I think you said you had one.
Yeah, I have a development that will have residential units.
Ooh, hook it up. That's good. Hey, Kevin. +1 for team. Hanging out. I don't know what this was referring to. Mark says, whiskey lockers
at the Vesper.
Am I out of it?
There's lockers at the Vesper Pictures amenities.
Okay, so this is the Brody Oaks development. And so this is going to be South Austin, right there by 71, Highway 360. And, well, I wish they had a map here on this page that I'm sharing with you. I don't know if they do. But they're changing the strip center into...
Oh, wow.
So this is what it is now.
What?
And they're going to build up. And that's so cool. And I wish they would do
South
this
Austin
everywhere.
has a lot of potential. A lot of potential for South Austin.
That's cute.
So yeah, building up. Let's see. They've got. They're bringing down impervious coverage. They're bringing. Planting a bunch of trees and doing a wildlife habitat restoration. So that's very focused on, what they can do to make the area more ecologically friendly. It's a Hobby Lobby store and then a strip mall with Sally's replaced by so much more, and bringing back, all of our great greenness. So I thought that was a really neat development.
I understand this is commercial, but it was interesting you said they're bringing down the impervious coverage.
Yeah. There's going to be residential units too. So there's some of those buildings are meant for condos. So that's why I thought it could still apply to what we're looking at. But I do apologize. It's also commercial too.
Yeah. But the reason why I say that is because now if that's a trend that's coming in to the market, coming into commercial, maybe ends up hitting residential. Can you imagine if they changed the requirements for impervious coverage for the new builds and they basically said, no, we need more green space? That just means people will have to buy houses with larger lots if they want a big house. I know. And it's already, you're looking at the prices and you're having these conversations in your head or with your spouse or whatever.
Don't say it too loud. Council will hear you.
I know.
It's already so complicated.
On the show.
Oh, man. It's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. All right, we're at 2:54. What else? Let's see. What else do we want to talk about? We were on new construction. Any other neighborhoods, or let's talk about timelines. What do you think about current timelines for build? You think they're on point? You think it's taking longer than normal? What are your thoughts?
They're still taking a long time. They're letting you know at least a year is what I had most recently experienced, and that it will most likely go over. They're preparing you for that part too. Has anybody else been hearing anything different? Because I was used to more like 6 to 9 months before the supply issue.
So when I was in a buyer walk today, a pre-drywall walk today. Kevin's got his smile. Kevin's over here smiling. Why are you smiling, Kevin? Tell the world why you're smiling. But I was at a different pre-drywall walk earlier today, and they were told it'll be about 6 to 7 months and their home will be completed. And my buyer was like, "No, it's too fast for me." He's like, "No, take as much time as you need. I've heard some stories. Take as much time as you need." And I said, "You want to hear a story? I've had a home built in 3 months, 90 days. So from nothing to 90 days to closing."
That can't be good.
Oh, terrible.
Exactly. I was like, so pick your battles, right?
Yeah,
That's fun.
generally I heard that materials are loosened up and it's coming back, but I don't know what that means in the whole conveyor belt of construction.
Yeah.
You know, something I've learned in the past year is when you hear some good news, just go ahead and assume it'll turn right back around and become bad news pretty soon. Like everything is so flip floppy and volatile. So, as far as
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was just
Nobody
thinking is
knows.
builders kind of have the benefit right now of being like, we don't know what's going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
sign a contract and we'll see where it goes.
But you
we'll
haven't
get it
heard any
eventually.
major constraints with like supply chain or anything lately, have you?
Not
No,
like
I haven't heard
2020.
anything over a year lately.
Okay. So, I mean, I have a build. We actually just terminated it yesterday, but it's been going for over a year and a half at this point. And the builders, they just haven't finished it. They're still not finished with the house.
Did you share the builder or
No.
area?
Area Great Hills. Builder is a smaller
Smaller.
custom.
That's who I think could be jacked up in
Who's
supply
who?
chain.
Smaller builders.
Smaller.
Mhm.
I've
Not
just
having
noticed
the
some,
leverage.
Yeah, more like entrepreneurial. I don't know if you want to call them mom and pops builders or smaller builders. I've seen more hiccups in their supply chain. I don't know why. Just like a observation.
Well, it
think
sucks
it's
because you used to
poor
think to
money
yourself,
management.
I'm going to go custom so I can get exactly what I want, when I want, how I want.
Yeah.
And
Not all of
the,
the
you
small
know,
builders, but
those luxury custom builders they're doing spec houses, you can negotiate pretty hard with them right now because they need their stuff to move. So you know, if you're interested in a new house in Central Austin area or surrounding areas, but it happens a lot in Central Austin, those guys need their house to move. So it's interesting what you can negotiate there right now.
It's kind of why I brought up that St. John's one. I don't know how long that one had been on the market, but I've seen a few of these customs that have been on the market for a while. So like that modern Victorian home, that thing is gorgeous. Yet it's been on the market for a pretty high amount of time, pretty significant amount of time. So any one of us would be happy to tour you through a modern Victorian, all black painted house, South Austin. Let us know. So that's funny. All right. Any parting words for the crowd?
I don't think so.
I'll give
Somebody's
John
got to say
another shout
something.
out. I'll give John another shout out. Check out him talking about the modern Victorian that like back in the day. The episode was like what to ask a builder when building, and we had John Joffrey on talking about his builds, including that project.
You know, speaking of, and I think it was in the intro, but if anybody's interested in coming on and having a conversation, whatever your profession is, it doesn't really matter. It's especially if you have some insight on something that's happening in Austin that would be valuable for people to know about, right? I think that would be really cool. So if you're a builder out there and you've got a really cool project that you want to share, we would love to have you on to share that. That'd be great.
Let us know.
Let us know. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming to the Real Estate Lab. See you again in